Hello, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Director's Cut, brought to you by the Directors Guild of America. On our 150th episode, we'd like to take a moment to show appreciation to our listeners. We're grateful to continue to bring you today's top directors, sharing behind-the-scenes stories of their latest films and insights into the craft of directing. Please subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, so you can catch the next 150 episodes. You certainly won't want to miss our next few episodes, featuring discussions with John Chu on Crazy Rich Asians, Eugene Jarecki on The King, and Rob Reiner on Shock and Awe. This episode takes us behind the scenes of director Spike Lee's new drama, BlacKkKlansman. Set in the early 1970s amid the ongoing struggle for civil rights, the film tells the true story of Ron Stallworth, the first African-American detective on the Colorado Springs Police Department. Ron's arrival is greeted with skepticism and open hostility by the department's rank and file, but he soon makes a name for himself with a dangerous undercover mission to infiltrate and expose the Ku Klux Klan. With the help of his colleague Flip Zimmerman, who poses as Ron in face-to-face meetings with members of the hate group, they gain insiders' knowledge of a deadly plot. In addition to BlacKkKlansman, Mr. Lee's many directorial credits also include the feature films She's Gotta Have It, Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X, 25th Hour, Inside Man, and Chirac, and the documentaries If God Is Willing and a Creek Don't Rise, When the Levees Broke, a Requiem in 4 acts, and a Huey P. Newton story. Following a recent screening of the film at the DGA Theater in Los Angeles, Mr. Lee spoke with director John Singleton about filming BlacKkKlansman. During their discussion, Mr. Lee talks about envisioning the film's powerful and relevant ending, why it wasn't a coincidence that he included references to The Birth of a Nation and Gone with the Wind, and why he immediately thought of John David Washington for Ron Stallworth.
Thank you.
Nice t-shirt. All right, here we go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Grand Prix. The Grand Prix. Ducans. You know. Lots of accolades. I mean, you're shaking up the country. As per usual. Cover of Time. Come on, give it up. I saw the movie last week, and what's interesting, after I came out of it, I was like thinking about several different things and stuff, and is that I mean, it's funny. I'm gonna ask you these questions. I mean, some of the questions, but I'm asking questions that I don't know you. Why a comedy? Why so much humor in this picture?
There's not a comedy.
Okay, but why is that? Did you all laugh through this movie? So you say that?
Laugh? I mean,
I'm not.
There's laugh and Do the Right Thing. It's not a comedy. It's laughter in Dr. Strangelove. There's laughter in Ace in the Hole. There's laughter in Network, but they're not comedies. It's not a new phenomenon to have humor with very serious subject matter. Those are my favorite filmmakers. Kubrick, Billy Wilder, I mean, Ace in the Hole, Stalag 17, C. Lumet with Network. I mean, you can't have done it before. I mean, there's a lot of humor in Malcolm X too, especially during the Detroit Red period of his as he's evolving. So it's been done before. It's hard to do because you have to get the right balance. But before that, I would just like to say that the murder of Heather Heyer took place a year ago today. A year ago today, Susan Bro lost her daughter to homegrown apple pie red, white, and blue act of terrorism. So when you go home, give a prayer for Miss Bro, who lost her daughter today, 1 year ago. You know, and I like to say also, if people were laughing, and now look, I knew there's laughter. I knew there was, my co-writer, Kevin Wilmot, and I, we wanted there to be humor in the film. But no one's laughing when that car, which is a murder weapon, is going down that street. No one's laughing. No one's laughed when those photos come up of Heather Heyer. No one's laughed when the red, white, and blue American flag upside down goes to black and white. And I have a lot of friends all over the country who've gone to see the film this opening weekend. Everybody unanimously says that at the end of the film, you can hear a pin drop. So, you could laugh, but at the end of the movie, when you walk out of here, you're not thinking about the humorous things in the film. You're thinking about, what you just saw, and then those statements by David Duke and Agent Orange, they can't say that's fake. I did not take that footage to my friend George Lucas of Industrial Light and Magic, and that's real. And for me, it was a pivotal moment. I'm not a historian, but I think many historians will, in the future, look back on that moment and say it's a pivotal moment in American history where the President of the United States has opportunity to denounce hate groups, and he didn't do it. And he might have walked it back, what he said 3 or 4 days later, but with this guy in office, whatever he says first, that's what's in his heart. Don't go for the okie doke by the retraction 2 days later. Is what you said the first time. And to this day, he has not denounced those hate groups because he feels that that's part of his base. And I don't think it's a coincidence that these hate groups have come out under rocks and from the dark into light because they know they got a friend in the White House who has their back. We go way back.
I'm just giving him assist. I gave him an assist. He take the ball. He like Kobe.
Magic to Jabbar
like
right there. Yeah.
No. He's like Kobe. It don't matter. It's serious for you to have. It's for you to talk.
We go way back.
So what are you gonna do when Agent Orange sees this movie?
Who?
Agent Orange and sees this movie and starts tweeting about it. Because he will see the movie.
In Cannes, my press conference, I call him mother 15 times. So.
But I think he likes that. I think he likes to be flatulated. I think he likes to be abused. I think that,
Well, here's the thing. If
he's that kind of dude.
I'd be surprised if David Duke.
Oh, David Duke saw it this weekend. Believe me.
Yeah, no, he called
up
Ron
right?
Stallworth.
But that was before the movie came out.
And he said he was encouraging, his people to see the film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he caught him before the movie came out.
Right.
But no one's known that David Duke has seen the movie.
Not yet. But he's going to see it. He had read Ron's book.
Yeah.
He said he saw Malcolm X.
He told Ron that?
Yeah, he said he liked it too. And he said that him and Malcolm wanted the same thing. I said, you know what? You only must watch the first hour. It's 3 hours. Malcolm evolved. But we live in a crazy world today. It's insane.
It is truly insane. I was going to ask you a question. I'm only asking you this because we have an assembled audience here, and I'm channeling questions that people would want to ask you and that probably wouldn't want to ask you. But it's not me; it's everyone else. Why? Because hey, we're real. But why do you have so much racism in most of your movies? Why do you deal with these different subjects? What draws you to them? I mean,
well, I don't think it's most, because if you go to IMDb.
Okay, I'm not saying.
No,
most.
let me finish.
I'm asking the question like I ain't me.
I know. I'm not looking at you.
Why you do all the?
I know it's not coming from you.
Okay.
So let me emphasize that.
I mean, it's like almost like racism in movies is Spike Lee.
Well, here's the thing, though. People like to put labels on you. Last Wednesday night was the 32nd anniversary. She's Gotta Have It. So I'm in my 4th decade, and not every film, the main story is about racism, but people try to put you in a, lump you together. So they say, do the right thing, Malcolm X, and now this will join that. But I've told many, many different stories, and so. But I don't run away from the history of this country. And on top of that, the racism that we have in this country has been perpetuated by 50 plus years of television, 100 plus years of cinema. It's not a coincidence that Birth of a Nation and Gone with the Wind are in this film. They got Barnes and Noble here in LA. If we go to Barnes and Noble now, as a group, they have a DVD section, and on the wall they have AFI's 100 greatest films. Birth of a Nation and Gone with the Wind are on. I forgot what number they are. But those films are personal to me. In 3rd or 4th grade in Brooklyn, New York, we had a class trip. They had just reissued Birth of a Nation, so our teacher thought it was a good idea to take the whole class. Mixed school. With the black kids, we were not happy. We felt very uncomfortable during the screening, during the trip, and Butterfly McQueen, I don't know about burn no babies, and Hattie McDaniel, and our teacher did not spend the time to give us context to that. Years later, I understand, why Butterfly and Hattie McDaniel, they had to work. Her famous quote is, Hattie McDaniel's famous quote is, I'd rather play a maid than be a maid. She won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, but wasn't even allowed to come to the ceremony. Did you know that? She wasn't even allowed. And for Birth of a Nation, that film was shown my first semester, and when you graduate film school. And again, we were taught that D.W. Griffin was considered the father of cinema, and all these innovations came up, which is not a lie, but there was no social, political context about the film. It was just really all the talk about the technical side of filmmaking. We were not taught that this film, at the time it came out, the Klan was dormant. It was dead. And this film led to the rebirth of the Klan, which led directly to black people being murdered, castrated, lynched, whatever you want to call it. That was left out. That was completely left out. And something I did not think about. A.O. Scott, New York Times critic, wrote a very good review of BlacKkKlansman. I thank him. And he pointed out something I forgot. one of the things that D.W. Griffin came up with was cross-cutting.
Simultaneous action, yeah.
And one of the best scenes in the film was we cross-cut between my man, the great freedom fighter, Harry Belafonte. Give it up for Harry. And what he's that's a true story. That's the lynching of Jesse Washington, which took place in Waco, Texas. So we intercut between that, his character speaking before the black students there, and then the initiation. So thank you, DW, for I forgot about he came up with that.
Am I supposed to say something now?
No.
You know, I teach that movie in my class too, and it's the first movie I show at the beginning of the semester, and I describe it as a sci-fi movie, Birth of a Nation, because I always feel sci-fi movies, to really work, have to speak to the fears of a public at the time. And so what he tapped into, from my perspective, is he tapped into the latency in the racism at the time, racism of certain people being feared. He portrayed black people as running Congress and and all the different things and raping the white women and subjugating the South, and he recreated Reconstruction. He redid Reconstruction. And what's interesting about that picture, for those of you who haven't seen it, you should see Birth of a Nation. It sets up American cinema for the next 100 years. It sets up the Western. I mean, the Klan rides in at the Cowboys, and they save the day. And we know most of the early Westerns, how they depicted the American Indians. So, and it's really brilliant that you were able to use it in this picture in such a way that film, because that film, that there are certain groups that actually do watch that film still, and they lionize
the Klan.
They lionize that film. I mean, they're the heroes of that film.
Well, I've never been an individual that says that stuff should not be shown. But
Exactly.
I think that we have to give some context, I think these people said that a Huckleberry Finn is not being in the library is crazy. That's one of the greatest American novels ever. Mm-hmm. And just because the N-word, there was beef about To Kill a Mockingbird. But you have to give it some context. My first film I did at NYU was called The Answer. It was a short black and white film about a young African-American writer-director who's hired by a big studio to do a remake of Birth of a Nation. And like the character of Pierre Delacroix in Bamboozled, he's very naive and thinks that he can
make it better.
I mean, not make it better. I mean, really just tell his own
version of it.
His own version of it. Yeah. So this thing called cinema is very powerful, and I've always, even if I want to be a filmmaker, I knew the effect it could have just by. And then when Superfly came out, everybody wanted to look like Ron O'Neal and be a pimp and coke dealer, or when Bruce Lee was in his heyday and we'd go see 5 Things of Death or one of his films on 42nd Street, and everybody would come out of the theater and 5,000 kids and run up and down throwing kicks and knocking themselves out with nunchuck because they didn't even know how to use it. I've been always aware of the power of culture. And it's always been my belief that the reason why the United States has been able to be the world power it has been is not because we have more nuclear arms in us, but it was because of culture, the expert of culture. It was Levi's, it was Coke, it was Nike, it was R&B, it was the blues, it was rock and roll, it was rap. That's how A bomb is not confluence. A bomb is not going to make a kid in Japan spin on his head. Culture does that. And depending upon how it's used, it could be detrimental. For me, one of the biggest, most hateful things that Hollywood's done has been the depiction of Native Americans. I've never been a John Wayne, John them. I know I'm in a John Wayne, John Ford them. I'm sorry. Their depictions of Native Americans as subhumans you can't even measure, I feel, the damage that's been done. And at the same time, let's not forget this country, United States of America, was built upon the genocide of the Native Americans and slavery. That is a fact. It's not for dispute. The foundation, the very fabric of this country is genocide, who were buried alive on concentration camps on this country, and slavery. And media, film, half of that, TV has done to perpetuate not just Native Americans, hateful images of African Americans, people of color, women, gays, about been used to dehumanize people. It's a great art form, but it has an ugly history. And that's the reason why I needed Birth of a Nation and Get Off the Wind in it. The film opens with what is considered one of the greatest shots in the history of cinema. That crane shot, that shot is a motherfucker. It is. You can't hate on that. But that's a shot. But the overall effect of the film, and then the way that shot ends with the tattered Confederate flag, these people still trying to fight the Civil War. You lost, Bowie. And you go back to Charlottesville, Friday night, where were they? The Robert E. Lee statue is still there. That is still up there in Charlottesville. Many other places, New Orleans, they took those things down. So this film, all these things I feel, I'm not trying to tell you what to think, but again, I have to give out let's give a shout out to Jordan Peele. Sure. It was his project for him to direct, do whatever he wanted to do with it. He didn't have to call me. Jordan Peele did not have to call me. But he did, and, we're able to, we feel, hopefully make a film that has impact, that's desperately needed right now. I think that if you look at the characters of Ron Stallworth and Philip Zimmerman, this thing has always been about, for progressive people, it's never been based upon race. It's been progressive people that form collection. I tell my black friends already, all the time, we are not enough black registered voters to get Obama in office 2 terms in a row. We couldn't do it alone. But what we've had is that those 8 years had repercussions, and that's why we have this guy in the White House. It was a definite, hell no to the last 8 years. But we got registered vote, and this guy cannot, if you love your children, grandchildren you might not have, or generations further down the line. We cannot have this guy for another term. Can't do it. And we got to come together. All the other devices got to go. We got to come together. We got to be on the side of truth. The good side of history, not the wrong side. Agent Orange is going to be the wrong side of history. That's being written already.
All right, I'm going to interject to ask you a question. But it's what's great. I mean, I want to talk politics, but what's the?
It's a natural segue, sir.
What's the lovely young lady that just won an election in New York? Sorry,
Ocasio, right?
Ocasio. I can't pronounce her name, but
Alexandra Ocasio, right?
Yeah. I'm hoping that her election and several other people who are actually going up in the next.
Well, here's the thing, though.
But
a lot of stuff is happening on the local level.
Yeah, yes.
That it's the local level that's
groundswell
is getting the young people energized. So everything just can't be about presidential. That's why the midterm is so important, and so people are there's a movement. I feel it, and I'm not gonna be one of these old guys saying the young people ain't doing nothing. Young people energized,
exactly, absolutely,
they're on
absolutely.
it. You know, they feel connected. They know their voice is important. So I feel good about that. I feel good about this younger generation. You know, I think so often we just slap them. They know what they're doing, this and that, and they're on the phones all the time. But they're as they say, they're woke.
Well, they're getting inspired. I mean, it's the inverse of what happened with Obama. They're getting inspired by the oppression and everything that's happening, the virulentness that's happening with Agent Orange. And hey, there's always hope.
I think that we got complacent for the last 8 years. Mm-hmm. We thought that
two in those 8 years.
That he was gonna. I mean, there's 2 terms, 8 years. That he was going to be there forever, and we weren't preparing for what we do now when he leaves. And the Republicans, they had a better game plan. They had the Russians too, but
and Facebook.
That's like we're in LA. When the Lakers would go to Boston, I'm talking about Larry Bird, that team. When you go to NBA Finals, you know you're not getting any calls in Boston Garden. So you know that going in. You got to beat them and the refs. So that's what it is. That's what you got to do. And that's what they did. They told me, Jabbar, Madge, they knew what the refs were going to do. You can't get no calls in Boston Garden. Same thing with this.
Passing me. Oh shoot, ball went over here. Let's get back to the movie. Let's talk about cinema, in particular this picture. So I just read the Time article. And when you were thinking about doing this picture, you immediately called John David. So,
John David Washington, who played Ron Perlmutter. Ron Stallworth.
Tell that story.
John David's first film was Malcolm X. He's one of those kids at the end that says, my name is Malcolm X. And I've seen him in a couple of episodes of Ballers. I always tell him I knew him before he was born. And he was a star running back at Morehouse College. Anybody from Morehouse here today? Nobody? Anyway, star running back at Morehouse College. And I just knew when the deal was done with Jordan, I just knew that in my heart, in my soul, my instinct, that he could play the part.
I told him, I said, I saw him recently at the school days thing when we were at school days. I said, I remember when he was running around in Coney Island when y'all was shooting. He got game. I came and visited. I said, dude, it's like congratulations, like, and he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
Didn't have to audition. Didn't have to read. Didn't have to put himself on tape. I sent him Ron Stallworth's book. I said, let's go. That was it.
So you sent them the source material before the script. You sent them the source material before the script. You sent them the book.
I was still working on the script, but I don't want to get him before we take another job. In fact, he was shooting the film in Cincinnati when I sent him the script. And the thing about cliches are based on truths. And the cliche, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. That's not a cliche. John David, something in the DNA, his upbringing, not just Denzel, Kenny of his mom's, Pauletta Washington, Pauletta. But he's a born actor. And you saw what he did. I mean, he did his thing. And Denzel, Denzel wasn't around. Denzel did not give him this part. He got it himself. So we were a lot of the stuff that happened on this film, this film really worked on the spiritual. I want to end it like this, please. I've been a firm believer that there's very few things that happen in life by mistake. The spirits, the ancestors, all these things are with us. And as I mentioned before, Jordan Peele did not have to call me. And if you listen, the end credits to this song is by Prince, singing. Come on, give it up for our brother. With this ending, I knew I need a great song, because that'll be the first thing you hear after the coda. Really silence, because we have no sound for the two portraits of Heather, and then the flag, American flag, red, white, and blue, turn into black and white, complete silence. So then the credits start. I know I needed a song, so I went to my man, Troy Carter, who's one of the advisors on the Prince estate. I said, I know you got something. So he flew to New York and saw an early cut of the film. He said, Spike, I got the song. And the song is what you hear. Is this Prince singing, piano, nobody else. It was recorded onto a cassette in 1983. Since our brother passed, it's been the job of the state to curate all his music. They gathered 10,000 cassettes. And this cassette pops out. That was Prince wanted us to have this song. To have Prince singing the Negro spiritual, Mary, Don't You Weep, is perfect. Negro spiritual is what kept our ancestors going when you had to work from Kansas City morning to Kansas City night in those cotton tobacco fields, wherever. It was the music that kept us going, which evolved into blues, into R&B, into rock and roll, all that. So to have this song of healing come out of nowhere, I said, my brother want me to have this song. And there's a whole lot of things which I won't go into, but when you make it, John, you know this. It's as good as anybody else. Making a movie, is hard as a mother.
Truly.
Even to make a bad movie. To make a horrible movie is not easy. That shit is hard. So if making a movie is hard, how hard is it going to be to make something that, people respond to? But no director goes into a film, a good director want to make a bad film. And so many things have to line up that are out of your control. The stars have to line. Do you have money for commercials or whatever, and all types of, what was the weather when your film got released? There's a couple of films, snowstorm hit, that was it. Netflix, straight to Netflix. And it's not that ain't funny if it happened to you, because you put blood, sweat, and tears in this. And I've been making films for 30 years, and it's never like there was one film I didn't work hard on. I bust every film, but you're not necessarily going to get the same result. Everything has to line up, and you just try to do your best, roll the dice, and hope to pray to God, that the people respond. Because I've done several films where people love them now, but when they came out, no one was feeling them. The Amsterdam News, woman's name is Abiana Sinclair. Her review of School Days, she said, Spike Lee set black people back 400 years. No one saw Bamboozled when it came out. No one saw 25th Hour. But the great thing about BlacKkKlansman is that I've been reading articles where people going back and reviewing, revisiting these films they might have missed for whatever reason. So that's been good, where people have been going back to look at the body of work. And that's the only thing I've ever wanted to do as a filmmaker, to build a body of work and tell stories. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, John Singleton, my brother. Quick story. She's Gonna Have It. I was out here for She's Gonna Have It, the first day open in LA.
In August.
32 years ago.
August, what was it? 1986.
86. And he came up to me. What'd you say? I was outside the theater. What was I doing?
You was passing out buttons.
Passing out She's Gonna Have It buttons.
And buttons and those things with Monica. He was promoting the movie, the 4-Star Theater in Santa Monica. I went there a week before to see Kurosawa's Ron. I saw the trailer to She's Gotta Have It with my man taking out tube socks on screen. And I said, I gotta come and be here. And go see this movie, and he's right in front of the theater, like talking to folks. I told him.
Yeah, tell him what you said.
I said, I'm going to film school at USC in 2 weeks. Watch out for me.
True story. Thank you. Good night.
Have a good
one. Thanks for listening to another DGA Q&A. If you'd like to hear more, you can find past episodes of The Director's Cut wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're enjoying the podcast, please like, share, and leave us a review. We'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time. This podcast is produced by the Directors Guild of America. Music is by Dan Wally.